Marsha,
I'm Lindsay.
and today Lindsay's going to take us a tour of Haiti. So, Lindsay, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and where your family's from?
Yeah, sure. I was born and raised in Jersey, but both of my parents are from Haiti.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about the foods that you ate growing up?
Sure, yeah. We ate a variety of foods, and our household was kind of a combination between Haitian cuisine, traditional Haitian foods, and also American foods because we were being born and raised here. So all of our friends are just general American people, so we had kind of a combination again of American diet and Haitian diet.
So, what are some foods that are unique to Haiti?
Oh, so some of my favorites are Haitian patties, which are a little bit different from Jamaican patties. Haitian patty, the crust itself is kind of like a croissant, and the fillings can be any meat or fish. And there are also some traditional soups like bouillon or soup joumou. That one base is more of a beef broth kind of base, and another one is a pumpkin base. And there's all sorts of stuff in both. And there's legume, which is kind of like this stew, like a sautéed kind of stew that has a lot of vegetables in it, and a lot of, like, sometimes there could be meat, sometimes there's crab or fish or no meat at all. And then rice and beans is a staple. Every meal has rice and beans, no matter what's going on the rest of the plate. And then plantains. Plantains are also a really big part of the diet. And hams. Yeah. All kinds of hams.
So, growing up, did you have challenges between eating Haitian food and American culture?
Yeah, definitely. There were definitely some challenges because, and for various reasons, for like economic reasons, for time reasons, like sometimes, when you have both parents working or whatever, it's hard for them to like cook for 3 kids as well. So a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but often we would have the traditional kind of like home from school American meals of like Wendy's and Burger King and deli sandwich or whatever. And also some of the difficulty was, like when you go to school, all of the food there, in the school cafeteria in the middle of Jersey is going to be whatever, fries and maybe if it's like a special day, it's like meatloaf or lasagna or something like that. And then you'd go home, and then it's the more traditional Haitian foods very often. So some of the challenges for me was kind of trying to decide a food identity, if that makes sense. Like, what are my favorite meals versus, what's available to me, and like, what can I bring to school without getting the weird looks and all of that sort of stuff. So there was just like a balance of both cultures.
So, do you cook or eat Haitian food now?
I try to. Yeah, that's interesting. I try to, and I guess this kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like, when you're a kid growing up, where the culture at home is one way and the culture outside and everywhere else and every other institution that you're a part of is different. It's kind of like you might prefer the outside culture sometimes. So growing up, I didn't want rice and beans. Like, well, I don't want rice and beans. Like, let me go get a sandwich, or let me go get, Wendy's, kids meal or whatever was going on, right? So even as a teen, I wasn't really learning how to make a lot of these dishes. So now as an adult, I do try to cook. I like a variety of different types of food, but now I find myself calling up my dad like, hey, what do you put in that? And and how long do you cook it? And I call my aunt, or I go to my aunt's house with Tupperware so I can come back home and have the food.
Tupperware.
Yeah, because sometimes I just don't know how to cook these things, and it requires a lot of time, a lot of a lot of different spices that I don't even know the names of in English, and where can I find these things. So yes, I do try to cook some foods that are easier for me and my skill level in the kitchen, which is in comparison to like my dad on
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, it's a combination.
So do you feel like food culture is being lost since you're kind of cooking it, but not really?
No, definitely. That's actually something that I worry about because I love these foods, and the generation of people that are here that cook it in our family are getting older, and sometimes I think of the future and I'm like, that might be a little sad if, a lot of these people pass on and I want soup jumu and how am I going to make this, and like recipes.com isn't really going to list how my dad makes it, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a little worrisome, and now that we're talking about it, I might call my dad and have him
Give
send
you
me
the recipe and send it to us here.
Right, yes, I'll do that.
So what food would you say encompasses the identity of Haiti?
I would say soup jumu, definitely. That's the pumpkin-based soup that I was talking about earlier. It's a very traditional soup, and it's kind of encased in the history of Haiti as well, because it's a soup that has a whole bunch of things in it, and depending on who's cooking it, it could have noodles or ziti noodles or spaghetti. It could have meat in it. It could have like either beef or other red meats, and potato, and also carrots, all sorts of things in it. And definitely cabbage and things like that. So it's a whole bunch of different things in it. But the importance of the soup comes from how it was created, I guess. And I'm not 100% on the history of the dish, but everyone knows it as the soup that you drink on January 1st, which is the date that we commemorate, the liberation of Haiti through the liberation struggles and revolution that went on over there. So this was kind of a celebratory soup. So every January 1st, we all get together and have the soup, and it's prepared from the night before. Like everything is bought, everything is ready and prepped, and in the morning you wake up to that smell, and you get like a loaf of French bread, and you slice it up, and you toast it, and put butter on it, and you dip it in your soup, and you just have a good old time, and you're probably having that soup for a good 4 or 5 days, depending on how big your family is too. Maybe it's a day, but
Yeah.
and then you leave, if you live elsewhere, you go home with like
A big Tupperware.
a big tub, a big Tupperware thing, and it's always cooked in this huge thing, space allowing. It's always cooked in this huge big pot, and people like run into the kitchen when no one's looking and steal a piece of meat or something and then run out, like nothing happened. So it's a big to do. And it's not just like, okay, rice and beans that you have every day. There's a occasion. There's an occasion.
So soup jumu.
It's delicious and nutritious.
So when you're feeling food homesick, is there a special restaurant that you go to, or what do you do when you're feeling Haitian food homesick?
Yeah, there is a restaurant nearby me. I live in Harlem, so there's a restaurant on 130th, 131st, and Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. It's called Curry, yeah. And it's amazing. And it's Haitian people behind the counter making the food. They have a menu that changes depending on what day of the week it is. They have Hola. I mean, I don't really drink soda these days, but it being there makes me feel better. It's very tasty. It's very sugary, so it's like a very heavy kind of soda. But yeah, they have all sorts of things there, and they do have soup jumu depending on the day. They do have bouillon, which is another broth-based soup. They have the rice and beans, which you need. They have all sorts of dishes that fish and conch and different stuff like that.
Okay. So have you ever been to Haiti before?
I have. I've been twice. One, it was just too early for me to remember. I was a kid, and I remember little snippets of it. And one a little bit more recently, 2000. Oh, I guess it's not that recent. 2001. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think I've been back since.
So, from what you remember, was there any differences between the Haitian food in Haiti versus the Haitian food here?
Again, I don't remember much, but I do remember that the food seemed more organic. And I mean that in two senses. Like one, obviously it's food that's right there. Like from the source of the food and to the plate, it's not that many steps. It doesn't feel like, depending on the dish. Like chicken, for example, you will see chicken running around, and then it's on your plate, and you're not wondering like, hey, it came from the Purdue factory down,
Yeah.
No, like that was today. So it's very fresh. But even still, like the fish that was prepared, you just see the fish and it's right there on your plate. Eating it was more laborious. Here you get a fish, it might be like a boneless fillet or something like that. So it's a little different.
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of Haiti with us.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, that was Salut Eats, and grab your passports and let's see where in the world we end up next time. Salut!
Salut.